Hello, this is the podcast disclaimer. The content shared in this podcast reflects our personal experiences and opinions. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, it should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. We encourage listeners to consult with healthcare professionals before making any decisions related to their physical or mental health. Thank you very much. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Cells of Consciousness. Your host Jeff Austri. Today's episode we have Evan and his friend Daniel. We'll be talking about attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. Most of you have heard of the term. Well, we're going to resolve a few issues and we're going to be talking about how we can get better at this instead of taking the medication. There are different ways of doing this. One way, just to bring out, is to actually tell yourself you do not have anything that they tell you you have. So you just say, no, I don't have it. And that might fix the problem, but we'll go deeper. Again, this is Jeff Austri, your host. We have Daniel and Evan in the house on ADHD. And let's go to Evan. Evan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Ethan. I am 16 years old. I've been living in this neighborhood for 2.5 years. I'm not in school at the moment, but I will be going to Westwood, the high school right up there on Kings Highway.
Okay.
And me and my friend Daniel here have started our own little business this summer, washing windows and stuff like that, and having fun.
Nice. Excellent. Good stuff.
Your ADHD has ruined or impaired your life. You are a ridiculously successful woman who has a full life with a family, a career, impact. And I would never want you to think that your ADHD has stood in the way.
We're hoping to get known in the neighborhood, and so we could both save up for our first cars, because we want to earn our cars, not have our parents buy them.
Okay, that's good. That's a good start. I mean, you show that you have you're taking the initiative, to show responsibility and ownership, and kind of like autonomy, and get that willpower. You know, you can do it. That's good. That's exactly what we're talking about, and that's one of the cures we're talking about for ADHD, is to get that willpower using your mental faculties. So your mental faculties, you have your memory, you have reasoning, you have perception, you have imagination, you have willpower, all those, and intuition, all those you have, and your autonomy is from your intrinsic motivation. Yes, so that's good. That's really good. Now, can you pass the mic over to Daniel? And Daniel, tell us about yourself.
Hello, I'm Daniel. I live in Broward County, but my dad's been living here for 2.5 years. I live here on the weekends. I am a two-sport athlete at Everglades High School down in Miramar, Florida. I have a passion for helping people out, and me and my friend Ethan decided to start a business to make money for our first cars. I feel like if we start this business, we can help people get their windows clean, and they won't have to do it themselves.
Wow. Very good stuff, man.
The way your mind works is fascinating.
ADHD. ADHD.
Man, you guys are doing something really good, because I didn't have the time. I tell you, when you came by knocking on my door, and you said you wanted to clean my windows, I go, man, they really did it, because I meant to do that, and I just didn't have the time. So thank you very much again. Again, we are here to talk about ADHD, and we have some questions to ask Ethan. Ethan is the one who went through the process. Now, Ethan, who told you had ADHD?
When I was very little, like 3 or 4, I was diagnosed with ADHD by my pediatrician. And my brother was diagnosed with it first because he was the firstborn. Me and him are 5 years apart.
Okay.
It runs in my dad's side of the family. So he got diagnosed with the non-hyperactivity one, I got the hyperactivity one. So I got put on pills for it for say around 11, no, like 10 years.
You're saying you have the hyperactivity one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been on pills for like 10 years, but once I reached like 13, I stopped taking it because I noticed that I didn't need them anymore. Like I grew out of
What
it.
changed? How you did? How you grew out of it?
I think what happens with ADHD is when you're little, you do need the medicine for it.
Really?
Because
Why?
your frontal lobe isn't like fully developed yet.
Oh, interesting.
So I think the ADHD messes with that because you don't have like common sense or thinking yet when you're little.
Right.
So
Until the age of 7 or so.
yeah,
Right.
and that's when it started slowly calming down over the years. But yeah, once I reached 13, I stopped taking them.
Good for you.
I feel a lot better after 2 years of like 2-3 years after I'm done taking them. I feel a lot more active, like I can do stuff more.
Right. So your mom took you to the doctor to get a diagnosis done. And then from there you start taking the medication.
Yeah.
Wow. You never question anybody, tell them no, you just obey.
I questioned it once I turned like 9 or 10.
Wow. Did you experience any withdrawal from friendship, from friends, from relatives, loved ones, from society? Any?
I noticed that when I was on the medicine, like I was calmer, but I had a lot more outburst, which caused me to lose a lot of friends.
So the hyperactivity causes you to have a lot of outbursts. Can I have you moving? You do like a
It like I had like anger issues from it.
anger. I mean, would it allow you to play a lot? I mean, I'm thinking to get you out there playing, moving around, running, doing stuff.
I'm always an outdoor kid.
Out the kid, doing stuff,
Yeah.
and that helps with you with the
Yeah,
symptoms.
as long as I'm doing something and I'm focused, the ADHD doesn't like do anything. I'm like calm, all that.
Wow, interesting. And how did your parents and your teachers take it? How they look at you? I mean, did you feel like that you were left alone, or not? No one was playing with you, or you had lots of friends.
I mean, because I used to move schools a lot, so every time I moved new schools, I had issues trying to find new friends, and it was very hard to find friends at first.
Your family supported you during that time? Did they provide support?
Yeah.
What kind of support they provided?
They would just say like, go talk to people, but I was like shy too, and a bunch of like other stuff to get me to talk to people.
Nice. That's a good therapy. It's very therapeutic to talk about it.
My mom's actually a therapist.
Yeah. So she is. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So you said you got over it. Was it a natural occurrence or was something that was a mind thing? You said, you know what, I don't have this. I have to do this. I have to get out of this medication.
I think it was a little bit of both.
Or both?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think I grew out of it, but I also think like I know like it doesn't bother me anymore.
Right. And that decision happened before I met you because I asked you the very first time we met and we talked about it. And I ask you to tell yourself you don't have it. Give me 4 months or so, and then come back and let me know how you feel. So that was before you stopped the meds before we met, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't been taking them for like 2
For a
or
long
3
time.
years. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Very good. So you overcome it by more of a natural process.
Yeah.
And telling yourself you don't have it.
Yeah.
Willpower.
Yeah.
So here you go, guys. So for some people, it's a natural process, just going through it from small, thinking that you have this, but you don't, and taking the medication. Eventually, after the age of 7 or so, hopefully you don't start that young. I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous why some kids have to go through this. I'm just expanding on what Ethan was saying, trying to analyze the information. Instead of going through this, you can use the willpower, and family members can help the kids to use willpower and tell yourself you do not have such a condition, and to just, if you can, just go through a natural process, a withdrawal process where you overcome that after the age of 7, stop the medication, and get that willpower going, and develop that inner power within you, and your mental attitudes that you have to stop taking that medication, and to tell yourself you don't have ADHD, and to get a cure for this. This is one way we're discussing on this podcast with Ethan. So Ethan, tell us, were there any like short-term memory? I read about, was there any short-term memory when you're going through that ADHD?
Yeah, I don't really remember a lot from my childhood.
No?
I can only remember up to like 7. So yeah.
Wow. Until like 7. It's interesting.
Like if it wasn't like a big thing that I would like remember.
Right.
If it's like something small, I most likely will forget about it like 3 days after.
So how are you feeling now?
I feel a lot more focused without the meds. I feel more productive and active.
That's good. I could tell because you're into business now with Daniel, and you're engaging in the community and helping people. And the objective behind your business, I can tell, is not just making money. Money comes by providing a service. So you're providing a service to the community, and at the same time you're making a profit. And that's what we are about in America, is making a profit, providing goods and services to people who need the services and the goods, and making a profit in the process. I mean, that's what you're doing, so that's good. So now let's go through some statistics first before we jump to, I know Daniel may have some stories to tell us, some experiences with people, friends that you know. So let me give you some statistics here on CDC, Central Centers for Disease and Control. According to the CDC, over 6 million children in the USA have been diagnosed with ADHD, classified as neurodevelopment disorder, which causes both hyperactivity and disruptive behaviors. ADHD care costs $42 billion. That's treatment, medication, counseling, planning, etc. And you went through that. And disruption of the brain and not the body, such as difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, restfulness, anxiety, abnormality or normal, unnatural sleep patterns, or disruptive behaviors. Are you familiar with those symptoms? You went through some of these symptoms?
Yeah.
You did? You experienced some of those, rather?
Yeah.
I don't wish that for anyone to go through those. I mean, unnecessarily. Even if someone tells you it's in your blood, it's in your genes, it's in your DNA, that you have to listen to them. It's not. It's in your mind. It's mind control over matter. It's mind over body. You can't listen to people telling you have this, you have that. What if they tell you, okay, go kill yourself, go do this, go do that? You go listen to them? Mm-hmm. No. It's the mind, the willpower. So this disease, well, we call it disease, ADHD, it affects in different ways, okay? The symptoms are not the same in everyone. Do you agree? Some people experience different symptoms. You said there were the hyperactivity one, and there was another one.
The outburst.
The outburst one. Right. Right. So it's not the same in everybody. Some are introverts and others are extroverts, right? Therefore, the treatment is different and operates on an individual basis.
And there are many ways in which we help people with ADHD by helping them to learn skills, by helping them to use some technology and strategies to be able to deal with whatever they have to deal with in school or on the job or in their family and social relationships. And it's most effective to be able to, first of all, have a very good evaluation to understand exactly which problems with ADHD this particular person has, and then to have the team of if it's a child, the child and the parent and the doctor, in consultation with the educators, the teachers that are working with them, to try to assess what are the strengths of this child. That's our beginning point. What are the difficulties? And what plan can we put together which will allow us to be able to build on those strengths?
That's why we said in your case, the treatment that we had, the case that we had, it was a natural occurrence over the years. The withdrawal came about, and then it was experiments, or it was about willpower that you had to get rid of that ADHD. Tell yourself you do not have it. So it's a combination of two things for you as an individual. Other people may have different ways of addressing the issue, which is true.
And the other thing we know is that for 8 out of 10 people who have ADHD, if you give them the right amount of the right medicine, the system can work better. For some, it's huge how much it helps. For others, it's substantial, but it's not huge. For others, it helps a little, but not that much. And 2 out of 10, it doesn't work at all. But the fact is, though this is indeed a chemical problem, the medicines that we have for ADHD cure nothing. It's not like you have a strep throat, you take an antibiotic and it knocks out the infection. It's more like my eyeglasses. I have a problem with my eyes. I can't see well. If I'm looking at typewriter-sized print, it just looks blurry to me. If I put these on, I can read it as well as anybody can. Take them off, I'm right back where I started. The glasses do not fix my eyes. They just help me see when I've got them on. And the same thing is true of the medicines we use for treating ADHD.
This kid feels dumb, feels like he's a troublemaker because all the teachers are telling him that.
Or a weirdo.
Or a weirdo. And all the kids, all the other kids are even agreeing. And certainly if the parents and the family feel the same way, like you're just a troublemaker, why can't you sit still? Why don't you do what you're told? Then I would say, okay, things aren't going well for this kid. So we have all of the basic treatment options still on the table. Psychotherapy, behavioral interventions, cognitive behavioral therapy, all those things, and stimulants and a couple of other medications.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all on the table, and those may all play a role. But again, they may or may not work. For some people, they can make the condition even worse because now they're interfering with your sleep, or they're making kids like a different person, a monster. So if that's the case, but I would argue even before you get to medications, let's do a common sense assessment of some basic lifestyle factors. Is the person eating mostly processed foods? Is the person getting adequate nutrition? So that means adequate vitamins, minerals, other nutrients, adequate protein. Is that happening? Yes or no? Like you said, there can be lots of reasons. Picky eater, upset stomach, I get it. I can hear all those questions, but if those things are not happening, if person is not getting adequate, healthy nutrition, that needs to be on the table as one possible intervention of something that we might want to look at to address.
I think it's even more important than that.
And you fake the body, and the body will believe that experience. You see? So that's how it works. You want to fake it. So telling yourself you don't have it, and you won't have ADHD. Now, this is something I think also, no, after the statistics, I think, can you pass the mic over to Daniel? Daniel, give us a story, an instance where someone you know with ADHD, and what happened? Was there any...
I had ADHD myself, and...
Oh, you did?
Yes, sir. One thing I gotta say is that society made fun of me a lot because I was different or irregular, or like I daydreamed, or I was too obsessive with things, right? And I regret letting that get to me because not a lot of people know ADHD is a superpower. It's a superpower because if you could focus on one thing, right? And if that one thing you're focused on, nothing ever stops you, you're going to achieve it. And I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't an easy road. I got cut from 5 teams playing sports in middle school.
Wow.
But I put work in. I hit the gym. I've stayed extra hours on the practice field. And I'm now on varsity for football and wrestling. So don't let society tell you that you're different, because in reality, different is what makes you unique. Different is what makes you you.
Yes.
Different is what makes you a special person. Don't let society tell you otherwise.
That's correct. Excellent, my brother. Good point here. Yep, you're an individual, and you have your own mind and your own thoughts, and your own willpower, and no one should be programming you to do different things that you don't want to do. Now, it falls back on lack of responsibility on behavior, choices, and parents. So your parents have a lot to do with that. And as you said, the willpower, responsibility, taking responsibility, not listening to other people and saying, okay, look, you were born with that, your parents, your sister, your brother has it, or your daddy had it, or whatever. It's you. This also has to go with when you're saying that I in lack. So when someone says you can't do this, you can't do that. For example, I want to go to college. I want to buy a bike. I want to buy a car. In your case, and someone says no, you can't. No, you don't have the money. You don't have the resources. You don't have the time. You can't do it. And you're saying yes, I can. Yes, I can do it. I can buy my car. I can buy my own car. I can work. And that's the willpower, and that's the kind of attitude one must have. Yes, I can get rid of this stupid ADHD. I don't have it. Don't tell me about this. So that's the willpower we want to see in the youth today. Not listen to people with their programs and that sort. It's very sickening. It's really sickening. Our minds is very, very complicated. We can make ourselves sick. If you tell yourself you have something that you don't.
Actually, the pills that they've been giving to people with ADHD are now affecting them later in life, because my brother's friend actually has a heart monitor from the Adderall that they prescribed him.
A what?
A heart monitor to
Oh,
make
really?
sure. Yeah.
Before they can prescribe medication?
No, he was on Adderall,
Oh, he was.
and they had to take him off of it because he had a stroke and almost died
What?
from it. Yep.
My goodness, you see? So he was doing two things at once. Wow. Is there something you want to say, Daniel?
As someone who used to take medications too, I could tell you something about medications. They don't make you feel good. They make you have anger outbursts. I honestly feel like with the medications, they're trying to make you sick so we could give more money to the people making the medications, so they could what's that word called again? So they could trick people into thinking that
Right.
they have severe ADHD. In
Program.
reality, they don't. Look, like this society, I feel like they're just trying to brainwash you. And honestly, don't let them brainwash you, because you're going to end up like his friend right there. ADHD is natural. It shouldn't be handled with medicines, It's something that a lot of Americans have. It's something that a lot of the world has, And I feel like no one should be taking medications for it. Let them use their ADHD as a superpower to get to where they want, or let them explore,
All right. Very good point. Yeah, my brother.
And I
Very
got
good
something
point.
to say about
Go ahead,
that
man.
too. There are so many people on this earth that have ADHD. I'm starting to think it's a marketing lie for all these countries,
Yes.
so they can make their
The meds,
billions.
medication, yes. That's what I'm thinking. Good point here. It's very nice having you guys there. You want to ask me a few questions? Anything? Is there any questions you want to ask me?
Yeah. How'd you start podcasting?
Interesting question. How did I start podcasting? Yes, let's see. So it was last year in December. So I started listening to podcasts. I started taking because I had some spiritual background. I'm into spirituality, and I came across a podcast with Joe Dispenza and a couple of people as well, like Greg Brandon, and there's another guy called what's his name? Can't remember his name. But anyway, there's Joe Dispenza was the main guy. There's also Dwayne Dyer. He passed away. God bless his heart. So I started listening to this podcast a while back, and And I'm like, it would be nice, but I never really got interested. But then it hit me after the pandemic. And then I said, you know what, I need to get into something where I can help the community and do other things, discuss issues and ideas. Like you said, you would like to have a podcast to discuss about world affairs. But I wouldn't go that far. It's true, but community affairs in your city, in your immediate area, what's happening in the community, issues and stuff, and to see how you can help out. And I like talking, I like researching, I like writing, because my job entails writing. So I'm like, I can use my skills to help out and learn something new, develop my mind. So while I'm aging, and I want to develop my mind, learn new software. I have to learn new applications, new things, new equipment. I want to keep learning new things. So I said, let me do a podcast. So and then when I listen to Job Dispenza, he's a physician, I think, and he talked about quantum physics and spirituality, combining the two together. And I looked into it, and it's very, very interesting where you take your thoughts, where you use your thoughts rather, and you can project your thoughts. Say if you have a desire, an idea, say, I want to get married, I want to buy a house, or for Ethan, I want to buy a car. And he goes in a quiet spot, not even in a quiet spot. He could be in his mom's car going for a driver ride. And he goes, I want to buy a house. I want to buy a car in 1 year. I'm going to work and save my money. And guess what? He's talking to the quantum field. He's putting that information into the field. His desire, that's what he wants. He put it out in the field. And then he left it alone. And then before you know it, he starts thinking about it. He's giving it feelings and emotions. So his thought and his body pretty soon is going to get into alignment, in coherent with each other. So he's giving it feelings and emotions, and then he's giving it attention. So every day he's thinking about it. Every day he's working. He's going to whatever he's doing to make it become a reality. He's thinking, he's giving it attention, and he has that desire, right? That intention. And he's getting it, feelings and emotions, frequency every day. He's approaching that idea. And he's saying, yes, it's going to come. Yes, he's working at it, working everything, talking about it and everything, doing things in the community. And he just left it. He left it alone. And he's doing other things. And he's working, he has his own business now. And he left it alone in the quantum field. And then pretty soon his mind and his thought and his emotions is magnetic. So this is electric, and it's in the field. He's put his electric thought into the field, and his heart is magnetic. So you have electric and magnetic. The heart is magnetic, and then the idea he put out there, and all the thought, and the information he put out there, everything, his people, his friends, everybody's working together, and the creation is listening to Ethan's thoughts and desire and saying, hey, how can we help him? This is what he's trying to do. Information coming to him, bunch of different things coming to him, resources from nowhere. He comes, he washes my window, he get paid, he goes on to the next neighbor. Everything is working out right because the field is listening to him, and then his magnetic heart is attracting that thought he put out. So electric out there, magnetic is attracting. So his heart is attracting his thought back to him. So his experience, what he put out, he's drawing it back through his heart. So that's what he wants to experience. That's quantum physics. He put out his thought out in the field, his desire. This is what I want a car. And he's working it, giving attention, intensity, frequency. And then his heart, his experience with his feelings and emotions, every day is giving it, is trying to draw that experience back to him. And that's what we're dealing with. And then spirituality comes in where he has trust in himself, trust in nature, trust in his friends, trust in the community, trust in everybody, and we build a good society, a nice society, a place where we can live and thrive and learn and grow and develop and become a good person, a better person in this life. That's all it is. It's just to grow and become a better person and to help and share while we're moving along, while we're growing, going to that same place, okay? We are teaching and learning and growing and helping one another to develop. That's all it is, guys. And I think you're doing a perfect thing, example you're doing, helping the community, helping people, and to get your goal, to get your desire accomplished.
Question: what exactly is quantum physics?
The quantum physics is mostly it starts with the matter, the physical part of nature, everything, the atoms, the elements, like the electrons, the neutrons, the protons, right? You have nature, physical. So you have the science part of how things may have occurred over time, what things are made up of, down to the minute particle, atom. So it's just physical aspect of the universe and how things happen. The physical laws of the universe. There's laws. Nature has laws. So that's quantum physics. And using that to your advantage because you're part of the environment. You're not excluded. You're included. You're inclusive. So yes. You see, you're dealing with the environment, and you're including the environment into your environment. So you're part of nature. So that's how it works. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, I learned something new today about quantum physics, I guess.
Yes.
I guess I should use it to my advantage now.
Yes, exactly. Because remember, you're like a cosmic star. You're part of the environment. Don't think you're not. So when you put your thoughts out there, your desire, your intent, you put it out there, it's real. If you want something to become, to manifest, you give it attention, you give it intensity, and you give it frequency. Okay, and make sure your thoughts and your body, which is the emotions and the feelings that you experience, okay, make sure they're in alignment, they're in coherence, they have to become in alignment, in one, unity. And then you'll attract, your heart will attract, the thought will attract whatever you put out there. People will start coming to you. Things will start coming to you. You'll get a new job, you get a new offer, you'll meet someone at the store, get a magazine, a book. They might tell you something to give you an idea on how to get a business going. A lot of things can happen when you start putting your thoughts in the quantum field. So that's what it is. That's what quantum physics is, and spirituality. You combine the two together, and you can manifest your desires.
Your thoughts could be a change for tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's what it is. We have to help one another. That's why I'm having this podcast, is to educate people, help people.
To, first of all, have a very good evaluation to understand exactly which problems with ADHD this particular person has, and then to have the team of, if it's a child, the child and the parent and the doctor, in consultation with the educators, the teachers that are working with them, to try to assess what are the strengths of this child. That's our beginning point. What are the difficulties? And what plan can we put together which will allow us to be able to build on those strengths and help the child or the adult learn about ways of dealing more effectively with their difficulties so that they can succeed and reach their full potential.
Teaching myself, I'm learning at the same time. Is that what we do this? Yeah, we do this to learn, to grow and to get better. We want people to get better. We have to get better and better all the time. All the time, we have to get better, keep on growing. So that's what it is, man. Welcome everyone. Thank you everyone for coming to the Cells of Consciousness. Your host Jeff Austri. We thank you for everyone. We have Ethan. Ethan just stepped out real quick. He had to run. And Daniel, right?
Yes, sir.
So they were here. We talk about ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And this is the end of the podcast. We thank you for visiting Cells of Consciousness. Your host Jeff Austri. See you next time. Bye-bye. Peace out. Yes, man. Thank you very much, my brother.
Of course.
Yeah, man. This is good, man. This is good.